Hey everybody, Logan here. It's finally arrived. I know on my announcement video, a lot of you guys were asking, but when is it shipping? When is it shipping? When is it shipping? Well, it's shipped and it's right here. And it's in pretty rough condition. So this one was not sent to me from GameSir. They were supposed to send this out to me. Something happened, never got it, but I kept my pre-order. I originally pre-ordered it a couple months ago, made sure I wanted to get this so I can get this video out for you guys. This is the T7 Pro wireless. This, in my opinion, minus the color scheme, is really what a lot of people were asking for. Not necessarily what the G7 Pro offered, because that let down a lot of people. But the T7 Pro might just be it. Too bad the color scheme ain't hitting it for most people. With that out of the way, let's unbox it and take a look. Maybe it's so good, the colors won't matter. Let's test it out. So before we get into the T7 Pro, I want to take you through a little history lesson. We've got its predecessors. We got the standard T7 right here, which a lot of people like this one because it was extremely affordable. It was $29.99 and it had Hall effect sticks, everything everybody wanted to replace the standard Xbox controller, and it's wired. Anti-drift, but no fanciness, nothing here. Anti-friction rings, standard D-pad. That's about it. Nothing fancy. Great controller though. And then they came out with the standard T7 Pro. Now, this is where things got a little strange. We went from solid black to, yeah, that's a color. And it's got lights, it's great. It's, you know, it has everything that everybody wanted and didn't want from the G7 SE. So you have flappy paddles, trigger locks, RGB lighting, anti-friction rings, solid D-pad, but the colorway. They recently announced a green one that is available through Best Buy online only, but it's supposedly coming to Amazon. I don't know when, but that's the one that I think should have been released first because that's the one more people would have purchased. But hey, it's a thing. It's a solid controller, but it's still wired, so not too shabby. You got 29, and I think this one was 49. So if you're saying, but what were the big differences between this and the G7? So this one doesn't have a removable faceplate. This one also has flappy paddles, but no flappy paddle locks, trigger locks, and RGB lighting. So membrane buttons as well, where the G7 HE has mechanical. So you got a couple different options there. All right, with that out of the way, now we have the stage set for the T7 Pro wireless. So it's pretty much going to be this one, but in a wireless form. Now the thing is, this one is $89.99. I bet you're saying, whoa, that's kind of expensive. Yeah, but you're looking at this being $50, but if you add the charge dock, you're probably, do I think it's a $40 charge dock? No, but you can say, hey, $35 on average for a charge dock. Hey, it comes with 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That's not so much a thing these days. But if you look at it, this is a lot of the big stuff right here. Hopefully that beat up box isn't keeping you from seeing it, but tri-mode connection, just like the G7 Pro wired. Drift-proof TMR sticks, Hall effect, TMR, Hall effect. So you are paying for that upgrade. Trigger and grip vibration, Hall effect triggers and trigger stops, and it supports the GameSir Nexus app. If we look at the rest of the box, it just goes in depth. Yes, it does use a dongle. Otherwise, you're pretty much good to go. This is everything most people want out of a Xbox controller these days, and people don't want mechanical all the time. So this might be the best bet. So how about we open this one up and take a closer look. There we go. Those are colors. Very pastel-y. Makes me think Easter eggs, but not terrible. It's almost like an iridescent too on the D-pad. Those soft pink, maybe mauve buttons. Frosted top, frosted back. Flappy paddles, no flappy paddle locks. Okay, and then down here you have the charge port, and then right there you have dongle and Bluetooth, depending on what you're going to be using it with. Feels nice. It is slightly bit heavier, but I would expect that. And when I mean slightly bit, it feels ever so slightly, but not much. Remember, wired, wireless. Now it's definitely heavier than the standard. But now the standard T7, no flappy paddles, no trigger locks. So that's why they now call it the Pro. Honestly, besides the color, I like that. Now, people are going to complain that, hey, why would I get this one when the G7 Pro is the same price? Technically, it's not. Depending on which G7 Pro you're getting, if you're getting the standard one, you're getting a wired controller. So it's $10 cheaper. It's $79.99. This one's $89.99 for a wireless controller. Then if you bump up to the G7 Pro wireless, you're talking about $100 for the Wu-Chang or $130 for the Zenless Zone Zero. So this is going to be the most affordable wireless one from GameSir for your Xbox. The only thing I keep coming back to is that paint job. White, black, blue, purple. I mean, I think I would have been fine if any of those teal, purple would have been nice. I think a solid purple controller would have been really nice. I don't know. I don't hate it, but it's not my style. So how about I shut up? Let's get to the most important part. Let's test it out. Okay, so before we get into the gameplay, I want to show you the GameSir Nexus app and how it recognizes the T7 Pro. As soon as you plug it in, you boot up the app, boom, it recognizes it, sends you right into the profile screen. So if you look, you can see the things that you can change up here in the in the left corner. You've got everything from force left trigger, sync left trigger, force right trigger, and so on. Dead zones and hair trigger on the triggers here, and the sticks, you got dead zone and anti-dead zones. You can map your buttons here, and then you can turn auto on and off, a docking LED brightness. So that's going to be changing the lights on there. But one thing I do want to see, looks like there is no firmware update. There is normally something, a little dot that shows you there is, but we're going to click on it anyway. Reminder, current dongle firmware, confirm. And that's it. So there's nothing there. Everything is fine. You don't have to worry about that. All right, just thought I'd go show you what you can do. Now, depending on when you're getting this, there may or may not be an update. This is right after it comes out. So the good thing is, as soon as you get the controller, it's completely updated. You have nothing to worry about. But if you want to do a little adjustment to dead zones and mapping and all that other good stuff, you have the option. Remember, it is the GameSir Nexus app on Xbox Series X and S. Okay, so if you guys are wondering, people still ask to this day, even though I test every game, almost every game, with right there. It says Exo Primal right there. That's why I put that little graphic right there so you guys know what I'm testing on. Now, one thing that I'm noticing that this controller does that I had no clue that it would do. Look at the sticks. You see when you move, it lights up in the direction in which you're pressing them. Both sticks do that. D-pad does it as well. And so do the buttons. It honestly looks much better off camera because of the way the brightness and the camera picks it up, and the camera's like literally right here. Nothing back here. It actually darkens the light. It covers them up, but there you go. Anything on the back? Wow. Those don't, but that is pretty cool. They don't come pre-mapped, so keep that in mind. Ooh, very fast. Very responsive. Beautiful. That's how TMR Schick, not a razor. Get it? Because Schick razor. Okay. That's how TMR sticks are supposed to feel. Oh, stop moving. Take out your ankles. Wow. I don't like the way you move. I don't like the cut of your jib. Whee! This feels really nice. Now, people are going to ask me, does it feel different than the G7 Pro? Yes. It feels like a very, very different controller. The G7 Pro it's a very different controller. That's all I can say. I will follow this up with a comparison video because just talking about here isn't going to do it justice. I definitely need to compare these two. Colors aside, I like this controller. This is what I wanted from a wireless G7 SE. The T7 Pro. Right here. Right here, everybody. Right here. Colors aside. Throw out the colors. Don't care. This is what I wanted. Thank you, GameSir. This is what I wanted. Even though you didn't send me this one. I bought it myself. I can't talk bad about this. Not at all. I love the D-pad. Love the sticks. Love the buttons. Love the lighting effect. Love the responsiveness of everything. Love that you can customize it on your Xbox. Remember, if you're still one of those people that does play on PC, you're probably going to want the G7 Pro 8K. But this one is the one that a lot of people were asking for, who don't want mechanical buttons, who don't care about that D-pad, or who hate that D-pad. And if you just don't care about all the extra bells and whistles of say the Zenless Zone Zero or the G7 Pro 8K, you don't really care about that, but you want solid TMR, well-performing. Hey, it's got an interesting colorway. But this is it. This is it, definitely. Thumbs up. I'm liking this. I'm going to be using this controller for the foreseeable future, but there are a lot of other things coming out, so keep that in mind. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask me. Drop it in the comment section below, and I will answer anything I possibly can. Again, make sure you turn that bell on for notifications so you know when I come up with my follow-up video, T7 Pro, comparing it to the G7 Pro wireless. So I'm going to compare it to the proper, the Wu Chang version, not the wired version, because this is already superior than the wired one in my opinion, because, well, it's wireless, and I'll save the rest for the other video. Again, thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless each and every one of you. Like I always say, be legendary. Thanks again.